We're going to Mishna is Megillah, Perek Dalet, chapter 4, Mishnah Hey, Mishnah 5. Okay. Hamafter Benavi, one who regularly reads the Haftarah. What exactly regularly means, I don't see exactly, but it seems he does it quite often. I'll point out why. But the point is Hamafter Benavi. Again, it's referring to somebody who regularly reads the Navi. That means he regularly reads the Haftarah. Hu Paris al Shema. He is given the honor to divide the Shema. Remember, divide Shema meant where people have come late. One of them, there's someone who now goes ahead and says Kaddish Baruch Hu, and the first bracha of the blessings of Kriya Shema for the other people. So that honor is given to him. And he passes before the ark, which means he is the Shliach Tzibur. He is the one who leads the repetition of the Shemoneh Esrei. Which means that he lifts his hands. That means he does the blessings of the Kohanim. Now, what that means is that apparently there was a practice that one of the Kohanim would begin the blessing before the others. He would start it. He would begin the blessing slightly before the other Kohanim. And that actually is a sign of he's the more respected one because he's the one who's starting. He's the one who's leading. So we say that the person who regularly reads the Haftarah is given these honors. How come? And the answer is because the Haftarah was kind of deemed as a not very honorable part of the davening. Why? Because a katan can do it, because a minor can do it. Since a minor can go ahead and read the Haftarah, therefore people considered it less of an honor, and therefore the person who regularly did it, he was picking up for everybody else. So the sages decided to award him that because he was ready to do regularly what others consider as something that's not so respectful, but he's doing it because it's a mitzvah to do it, something that's supposed to be done. Therefore, they awarded him that he is the one who's given these other honors. Now, v'mahaya katan. Now, let's say the one who regularly reads the Haftarah is a minor. He's under bar mitzvah age. Sorry about that. He was under bar mitzvah age. Then he can't go ahead and lead the davening. He can't be the shliach tzibur. He can't do the petition of the Shemoneh Esrei. So, aviv rabbi oivin ayadai. In that case, his father or his teacher, they will go in his place. The way they bring down from the commentary of the Rambam here, when a minor reads the Haftarah, it is as though his father and teacher are also reading it, since they are responsible for him. Thus, one of them leads the prayers just if he were the one who actually read the Haftarah. They've got this connection to him, and therefore, to continue the honor of the fact that he regularly reads the Haftarah, but we can't give him the regular honors. Instead, his father, his teacher, are responsible for him, and are in some way considered like they were reading the Haftarah. They now go ahead and they get the honors. All right, let's do Mishnah Bav also. Katan kairei by Torah umatargem. A minor can read in the Torah and translate. Now, I find that very interesting. First of all, I don't know what the answer to this is, but we just said that the Haftarah, was considered not so respectful because a minor can do it, and we just said the reading of the Torah also, a minor can read from the Torah. That is not our practice nowadays. We do have the practice that a minor can get the Haftarah. However, which as an under bar mitzvah, I did that at least twice, I believe. At least I did for sure one time. But reading of the Torah, that is always reserved to a gadol. But this Mishnah says that a katan kari b'Torah can read the Torah or metargem, and he can do the translation. Now, the idea or the understanding behind this idea that the minor can read from the Torah is because whenever we say that a minor can't do something, it's because a minor is not obligated in mitzvahs. And anytime you're not obligated, if you're not obligated in a mitzvah, you cannot be motzi someone. You cannot be the one who does the mitzvah on their behalf. It cannot be that you're doing can be considered like they're doing it, which we know very often we do that. Then we have somebody being motzi others. We have one person that's saying for others like Kiddush, but the katan can't do that, let's say, at least for an adult, because of the fact that, in regard to the adult, he's not considered obligated. And therefore, if you're not obligated, you can't do it on other people's behalf. So how does the Mishnah say you can read from the Torah? And the answer is because when the reading of the Torah is not essentially an obligation for everyone to be reading the Torah, and the person who reads does it for us. The obligation, the mitzvah of the reading of the Torah in public means it's supposed to be read in public, and people are supposed to listen to it. That's the obligation. The obligation is to listen to the reading of the Torah. Well, the minor is reading the Torah, and people are hearing it. And therefore, the Mishnah says that the minor can actually do the reading of the Torah. And if he can do the reading of the Torah, he can certainly do the Matargim. He certainly can be the translator that we spoke about yesterday. But he can't divide the Shema, which again, in that situation, he's saying the bracha on behalf of other people. He's doing this on behalf of the others. The others missed it in the congregation. And now when the person who is Paris al Shema, the person who's not saying it for others, he is saying it on their behalf. He is having them, he is having what he's doing be considered that they're fulfilling their obligation, but a minor can't do that. Nor can he be the one who goes before the ark. He can't lead the services. He cannot be the one to repeat the Shemona Esrei, because essentially, why do we have the repetition of the Shemona Esrei? For those who weren't able to pray on their own, which means that essentially the repetition is about being mitzi others. It's about saying the Shemona Esrei on behalf of other people. He can't do that if he doesnn't have the full obligation. Nor does he lift his hands. He doesn't say the Berachas Kohanim. The Mishnah is saying that a minor doesn't do the Berachas Kohanim, but that is qualified. That if he's the only one. If he's the only Kohen in the shul, then it's not considered it's not considered respectful to the tzibur, to the congregation, that they are basically, they're coming on to the blessing of a minor. But if he's together with if there are other Kohanim there, then he can do it with them. Next, Peicheach. Peicheach means a person whose clothing are torn, and because of that, his arms are exposed. His arms are exposed because of that. So we say like this: Paris al Shema Matargim. He can be Paris al Shema. He can divide the Shema. He can say the Baruch Hu and the Kaddish Baruch Hu and the first of the blessings of the Shema on behalf of others. That he can do. Umatargim, and he can do the translation of the Torah. He cannot read in the Torah. Nor can he be passed before the ark, nor can he be the one to repeat the Shemona Esrei. Nor does he lift his hands, nor does he duchen. Now, what are the issues here? The issues here with this person is that the fact that his clothing are torn and his arms are exposed means that his appearance is not appropriate. So we say like this: to be Paris as Shema, even though now we said one thing, so that means like this, right? He can't read from the Torah; it's not respectful to the Torah. He cannot be the one who leads the Shemona Esrei, nor can he lift his hands, meaning nor can he duchen, because he's representing the tzibur. He's fulfilling his important. He is fulfilling important roles for them. And if his appearance is demeaning, it's not appropriate for him to do so. Well, if so, why do we let him then Paris al Shema? Why then do we let him be the one that's going to be motzi the others with this division of Shema, as we call it? Why isn't that a problem that his appearance is improper? The answer is because the person who's Paris al Shema, he doesn't go up in front of everybody and does it. He does it by his seat. So it's not like he's standing out. So therefore, for him to be the person whose arms are exposed because his clothing is torn, he can be Paris al Shema, even though he can't do the other things. Now, the Mishnah concludes: Suma Paris al Shema Matargim. A blind person can divide the Shema, as we've been saying, and translate the Torah reading. Mm-hmm. Rabbi Yehuda says, Kol shelo yira ma'oros miyamav. A person who's never seen the luminaries in his lifetime. I mean, he was born blind. Mm-hmm. He has never seen the sun, the moon, the stars. He's never seen those things that give light. Eina Paris al Shema. He cannot be the one to divide the Shema. The issue is like this: when the person, whoever is Paris al Shema, he is saying the first blessing of the blessings of Kriya Shema for other people. what is the first blessing of Shema? What is the first of those blessings? Yotzer Or V'Varech Choshech, who creates light. And at the end, we say, we thank Hashem, Yotzer Ma'oros, the one who creates the luminaries. That means we're thanking Hashem for these light-giving bodies that He has blessed us with. Well, the person who's blind can't benefit from them. So maybe the bracha is not appropriate for him. So Rabbi Yehuda says it's not. And when Rabbi Yehuda says that it's not, and he can't be paras al shema, they bring down here that not only can't he be mighty others, not only can't he say it on other people's behalf, he doesn't say it himself, which is why he can't, according to Rabbi Yehuda, do it for others, because he doesn't have the obligation to say this blessing. But the Tanna Kama, the first opinion, argues. Why? Because maybe he doesn't have direct benefit from the lights, but other people benefit from him. Right. Other people have the sunlight to help him around. Other people have the light to help him around. So therefore, the first opinion says that although he doesn't directly have benefit from it, but he does benefit from it, and therefore that blessing is appropriate for him to say the blessing of the Yotzer Ma'oros, who has created the luminaries, the lights. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
So it's brought down in the